Executive Director, Carlos Lopez. Mr. Lopez, can you hear me?
Good morning, everyone. Yes, I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Yes,
All
yeah,
right.
we can indeed. So this morning we had a call with the IRS and they gave us some updates. They were releasing what they call the People First Initiative in order to really help out those taxpayers that are in need. And they gave us some updates on the practitioner service line that just be patient with us. They were asking us, and they are working very hard behind the scenes. They are now possibly going to be releasing over 150 million payments if the stimulus package does end up getting signed, which looks like it will. And they're also continuing to process any remaining tax returns. They're advising people file your taxes. Don't wait till July 15th if you have a refund. So a lot of news. What did you get from that call, Mr. Lopez?
Yeah, we, as your membership organization, we meet with the IRS top executives 10 times a year, once a month for 10 different months. And today was one of those meetings where we usually call in, but today everybody called in because of the coronavirus. So I thought it was great. The IRS unveiled its People First initiative, which you can find on their website. And as soon as we finish talking about the People First initiative, because we feel that's very important, it's immediate, we'll talk about the coronavirus tax relief for all those checks that are on their way. And we've got some very late information for you on that.
Yeah. So great. So if you go to the IRS's website, they have a coronavirus resource page, and within that page, they have a lot of articles and tools and such. So the People First initiative is an effort for the IRS to really help out all stakeholders, taxpayers, practitioners, partners, really be able to grasp all these changes and all these challenges happening. So let's just go down the list here. So existing installment agreements. So for taxpayers under an existing installment agreement, payments between April 1st and July 15th have been suspended. So if you have an installment agreement or your clients have one, they've been suspended until July 15th. New installment agreements, the IRS reminds people unable to fully pay their federal taxes that they can resolve outstanding liabilities by entering into a monthly payment agreement with the IRS. Now, if you owe taxes for 2019, you don't have to pay those until July 15th. But if you still need help or need to enter into an installment agreement, IRS is still allowing that. To be aware of that. Offers and compromise, IRS is taking several steps to assist taxpayers and with different stages of OIC. So pending offer and compromise applications, the IRS will allow taxpayers until July 15th to provide requested additional information to support that OIC application. If you are currently making payments for offers and compromise, taxpayers have the option of suspending all payments on accepted OICs until July 15th of this year. But keep in mind that interest will continue to accrue. That is just by law. So you could delay those payments up to July 15th, but you're still going to be accruing interest. Delinquent return filing. So the IRS will not default on any OIC for those taxpayers who are delinquent and filing their tax return for tax year 2018. However, taxpayers should file any delinquent 2018 returns on or before July 15th, 2020. New OIC applications, the IRS reminds people facing a liability exceeding their net worth that the offer and compromise process is designed to resolve outstanding tax liabilities by providing a fresh start. So that still is in place, but they are looks like they're giving some relief around that. Do you have any OIC clients, Mr. Lopez?
Yes, I've had them in the past. I don't have one right now, but the offer and compromise is a very powerful tool. Highly recommend it. It's usually what's going to be better: an offer and compromise, bankruptcy, installment agreement. So it's good to go in and see a professional that has experience with this. Also, another thing that the IRS discussed today, which I found interesting, was back in, when we had our last stimulus checks back in '08. Remember, they were $300 and $600.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, this year, what they're saying, oh, here's what they said. Back in '08 and '09, people who hadn't filed because there's no filing requirement, filed tax returns with all zeros for those years. See? Then that way they're in the system and hopefully a check will be issued to them. We're not guaranteeing it. We're just repeating what the IRS told us. So if you're a non-filer, file your taxes. If you owe them, if you are getting a refund, now's the time to do it because they're being real helpful right now, and it's really good because there is a statutory limit on time to claim a refund, and that's 3 years after the due date of the return. So if you don't file your 2016 return, 16, 17, 18, actually, yeah, no, 17,
2016.
18, 19, your 17 return, and you're due a refund, yeah, that tax return is now due July 15th. So get on it.
Yeah, yeah. So, and it's interesting because they were saying that even though it should be here also. So the IRS reminds people who have not filed their return for tax years before 2019 that they should file their delinquent returns. More than 1 million households that haven't filed a return are due a refund. So if you have clients that have not filed, hey, that's extra money. Why donate it to the Treasury Department when they're actually trying to pump out money to you? Just file the refund, file the tax return to get a refund as well. Some updates on private debt collection. So no new delinquent accounts will not be forwarded by the IRS to any private collection agency. So they're halting that here for a bit. In-person meetings have been suspended. So during this period, the IRS will generally not start any new field office and correspondence examinations. We will continue to work refund claims where possible without in-person contact. So does that mean, Mr. Lopez, that are they canceling all audits, or is that not the case, or what's going on with these examinations?
Well, they're only going to, if you're under an audit right now, they're going to continue with it. However, they won't do any more face-to-face meetings. It'll all have to be correspondence. And yeah, they're suspending audits until after July 15th because everybody's really uncomfortable right now. Everybody's scary. I had a client walk in today that he was all bundled up. He had gloves on. He had his N95 mask on, and yeah, and he said when he was in the grocery store this morning, somebody came up to him real close to grab something off the shelf, and he asked them to move away. So
Yeah,
yeah,
wow.
so it's a tough time out there, and you can get a fresh start with the IRS. Right now, I know a lot of people don't like it, but us being in the business and understanding our clients and understanding the IRS, it's a good time to get a fresh start. So come in and see one of us or see someone in your area that is known to be professional and honorable.
Yeah, no, definitely. And since a lot of our members are tax professionals serving these clients, the practitioner priority service, which is the line where you could call and get help from the IRS if you are a tax professional. They're giving us a warning that so right now it's working. Their levels their staff is being reduced, but their phone system is getting to a point where this practitioner priority service may need to be shut down for a couple of weeks just to give the resources to the taxpayers who need to call the IRS. The IRS calls are being overwhelmed right now with these the IRS told, like, for example, they were saying that, I guess, on the Today Show today, they said if you go to the IRS website, you could plug in your routing and direct deposit and they can send you the money. And then the IRS said, like, wait, like, we're still getting the law hasn't even been signed yet, right? They're still waiting for advice, guidance. So don't call the IRS asking for your money. They will let you know when it happens. We will let you know. They'll let us know. We'll share that information to you. The resources are being limited. Don't bog them down with questions on something that hasn't happened yet. So I just
Yeah,
wanted to
or
share that.
worse, don't frustrate yourself, because they told us today 50% of the people that answer phones aren't even in the office. They're at the stay home order, and the IRS wasn't ready to have phones and computers for people to telecommute to work from home. So you thought calling was bad before. It's half now of what it was before. So, don't bog down the IRS. Most of what you're going to need is on their website, irs.gov. And then also we will make a periodic announcements on Facebook while we can. So there's a couple of things I really wanted to get across this morning. So if your passport has been denied for taxes, now is the time to request your passport to be renewed, because they'll do it for the time being. So if you have an IRS issue and your passport's been denied to travel, ask now to get that released. And that's big. The other thing is earn income tax credit. Those taxpayers that have had an IRS letter saying we need more information, we need school records, we need doctor records. This is for earned income tax credit. From now till July 15th, listen, everybody, the IRS is saying if you can't scramble your information together, now's the time to write them a letter and say, I'm sorry, I just can't get it together before July 15th. Most likely you'll be allowed your earned income tax credit. So they're giving everybody a huge break right now. So all you tax pros that are out there, go to the irs.gov, go to the newsroom, and you'll see just like the IRS, please don't call us for specific cases, because we don't know your case, but you know your case. You know the earned income tax credit and wage verification reviews. You guys have all dealt with that. So now is the time to send them, and let me read it to you directly. You're encouraged to exercise your best efforts to obtain and submit all requested information. And if unable to do so, please reach out to the IRS indicating reasons for such information not being available. Until July 15th, 2020, the IRS will not deny these credits for a failure to provide requested info.
Wow, that's huge.
That's huge. Come on.
Yeah, that's right. And a lot of our members are working with clients who do have earned income tax credits, so just be aware of all those different changes. They were also they're also anticipating that they will be the ones that will be, issuing these coronavirus relief checks. They said that back in, like you mentioned, 2008, they had to do that, and again in 2001. So it looks like their infrastructure is set up to deliver a mass amount of payments to millions of people. But do you remember back in 08, Mr. Lopez, how did people get the money right away? Did it take a few weeks, a few days, or how do you?
Yeah, it took a few weeks. I remember it taking about 3 to 4 weeks to get it. So,
got it.
First of all, like you said, I don't think it's gone into law yet, but it's going to. And once it gets into law, don't forget, man, the IRS has to change all their IT structures. Can you imagine? To be able to print these checks ahead of time instead of in batches like they do now. I mean, it's a daunting task. And, I don't know if you can see my screen. Can I share my screen on here?
Yeah, let's see. If you click on that green icon share, it's one of the Zoom
here we
options. You see it, and then just make sure you're sharing the right one.
Here it is. Okay, let's share this screen. This is my screen that I want to share with everybody. Can you guys see it?
Yeah, it says coronavirus tax relief on top.
Okay. So this is the biggie. Remember I told you guys we were going to talk about the important personal stuff first? This is what everybody wants to know. The stimulus payment checks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry to say, as right now, no information is available yet, other than the IRS is preparing to print all these checks. Supposed to be like, what they say, 150 million checks this morning, Tony?
Yeah, 150 million payments. A lot of them are going to be sent out through direct deposit, and that's why. So what they're going to do, they're going to look at your 2019 tax return data and information, because there's some provisions on income limitations. Number one, number two, if you have direct deposit right now with the IRS, so that means if you usually get a refund through direct deposit, or you make your payments through ACH, they have your direct deposit info, so it's going to be much faster. Now, if you haven't filed your 2019, they're gonna go. They're gonna look at your 2018. They're gonna go based on your 2018. So if you have clients who haven't filed 19 or 18, file those, get those in, and just be ready for your money.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said earlier, if you're a non-filer, let's say all you get is Social Security, or if you're married and you make less than the 24,000 or 27,000 with the additional being over 65 and so on, file a return with all zeros. And then that way, the IRS has you in their system already. You can put your routing number and account number in there and get it to the IRS electronically. That way you're in the queue.
Got it.
Yeah, and you don't need to sign up. There's nowhere to sign up.
Yeah.
Especially don't call the IRS to sign up, because you probably get hung up on because they're cut their staff by half, and it was bad before. And
Yeah.
here's a whole list of news releases that are coming out. As they come out, and if they're critical, just what we're going to do now is we're going to send out a text.
Yes.
We're going to use our Podium. That's a software platform that we use for texting. So before we do our next one, we're going to text out that we're going to have a Facebook Live so we can give you current information.
Yes, yes, indeed. So usually we don't do too many texts because we don't want to spam you, but this is gonna be just straight great information. So just expect some text from us.
Yeah, expect a text from us from our 866 number, and we're not going to spam you. It's going to be 866-936-2587. It's going to be an invitation to watch an informational Facebook Live so we can give you up-to-date info. And the next one we're going to do one in Spanish this afternoon, right, Tony?
Yeah, we'll do the same thing. Lo que estamos haciendo ahorita va a ser en español esta tarde.
Yeah, vamos a hacer todo en español para todos ustedes son actualizados en toda la información que la IRS está dando ahorita.
Yes, and thank you for bringing up the text, because we want to communicate with everybody as much as we can. So those of you that are listening, I really want to find out, are these Facebook Lives really helping you be informed? If you could please leave a comment right now and let us know, what do you think about all the communications we're sending out? If we're doing a great job, what we can do to be better, because we definitely want to communicate. So we're using Facebook right now. We're on YouTube, on Twitter. We use our newsletters, but text is going to be big now. So expect the text maybe every other day, or every day, just because the news is moving so fast. So as soon as we have news, we're going to share that to you. And there's going to be a text like about maybe 15-20 minutes before we go live, a heads up, hey, we're about to go live, click here to see us. So it's going to be good. So, and if you don't if you're not in our text list, text us now. Text 866-936-2587. Text our number, and then you'll get in the queue and we could help you right away. So we are ready to communicate with everybody for sure.
Yeah, and if you're not in our database, if you could also text us your first name, your last name, and your zip code, because we'll have your number. But that way we know who we're talking to, and it's just courteous.
Yeah, I know. And then also, that's why I like the zip code, because a lot of states and a lot of regions have different news, different resources. So we're going to now start segmenting all of the news and resources to different areas. That way, if you're like in Wisconsin or in Florida or New Jersey or California, for example, or Texas, you'll get not only this national news, but maybe news relating to your region also.
Right.
So that's great.
Right.
Another thing the IRS brought up this morning is just like the point in the fact that it's crucial to not underfund the IRS, right? To give them the funding that they need. The Congress should acknowledge the critical part that they play, not just every other year, not just like on during normal times, but even now. Like now, the IRS is being asked to send out all this money, and if they're underfunded, if they don't have enough staff members or enough infrastructure, they're gonna have a hard time, helping the American taxpayers. So I thought that was nice that they brought that up. It's like, yeah, these guys, not only do they take your money, but obviously here pretty soon, if this bill passes, they're gonna give you money back also.
Yeah, and just to remind everyone, the tax deadline is now July 15th for all taxpayers. I think the corporations are June 15th because they are due on March 15th. But yeah, but here's the thing though, even though they extended the deadline, don't wait, because these checks are coming out in the next few weeks and they're going to base it on your 19 taxes. If you haven't filed your 19, they're going to base it on your 18. And there are limits: 75,000 for single, 150,000 for married filing joint. And for, I believe, every $100 over that, it drops off $5. So it does phase out. So if you made less money in 19 than you did in 18, you may be getting a little more. Who knows?
Got it. Oh, I'm getting some questions here.
Okay.
That they're saying, are I-10 taxpayers going to get some of these checks in this
Oh
money?
man, that's beautiful. It was so great because in our meeting this morning, Tony, it's usually Tony and I that are asking these questions, but the IRS hedged us off and they said, okay, look, we know there's going to be a lot of mixed status families questions. Mom has a social, dad has an I-10, or the parents have I-10s and all the kids have socials. They said, we know that those situations exist. We're working through them. So as
Whoa.
soon as we get updated on that, you betcha, man, we're going to throw that out there.
Yeah, no, definitely. You're right, because a lot of the times maybe just one person has the I-10, but everyone else is a U.S. citizen, and they're on the same tax return, and that's what we specialize in,
Yeah, and how
bringing
much
you.
is that stimulus check going to be?
Yeah. So right now, again, it hasn't signed into law yet, but what they are saying, it'll be 1,200 per taxpayer. So if you're married, it's 2,400. And then if you have any dependents, well, see, they're saying children, 500, it's gonna be $500 for the children. Oh yeah, under 17. I think that's what I was reading. But do those children need to have an I-10, a social? That's what we're waiting to get guidance on for sure.
Yeah,
So,
we're waiting for that guidance. And it's good. I want to tell you that you guys should be proud of us. Okay. We have worked so hard to get the executives at the top level of the IRS, and also the commissioner himself has really been a big advocate for all of us to get the IRS executives to understand there's a huge population, 64 million or more people who work in the US that have I-10s or mixed status family, and that population needs to be addressed.
yeah, and I think it's ironic that, and this is just my personal opinion, like we live in the Salinas Valley of California, and the essential workers who are right now, as we speak, out in the fields, picking up that lettuce, picking up that produce to feed Americans, a lot of them have I-10s. And so are they gonna get those checks? And guess what? If they don't get those checks, guess what they're gonna do? They're not gonna complain. They're gonna go back to work tomorrow. So that's just the way it is, right?
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. We live in a bubble of Salinas, California, where it's predominantly ag labor and farmers and farms, and very sophisticated though, just because we say we're farmers. I think California has the most high-tech farming techniques in the world. Maybe besides Israel. Israel's got some pretty good ones. But, you know, when I first moved here back in the mid-70s, they were getting 2 crops out of the fields per year, and now it's up to 4 crops. So they've doubled the amount of crop, and they've been doing this for a while. So it's not something they just started last year. So we'll keep an eye on this for you. It's been a very topsy-turvy world with the immigration, the I-10s, and undocumented, documented. We could be here all day long talking about that, but we're not.
Yeah, no, definitely. So yeah, thank you for your time, Mr. Lopez, and then everyone that is
Thank
listening
you.
in. A las 4 p.m. Pacific, 4 Pacífico, 7 Eastern, va a ser esta presentación, este web, Facebook Live en español, con
Sí.
las mismas noticias, y a lo mejor de aquí para allá hay más noticias nuevas que podemos discutir con todos, pero
Y
ya,
vamos a mandar un texto
yes, para esta
antemano.
tarde vamos a empezar con los texts.
Yeah.
Y si no, y text us 866-936-2587 if you want to be in our breaking news text alerts that we're going to be sending to you. Y aquí estamos para ayudarles. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Adios.
Adios. Have a good one and see you soon.